The Legend of Tarzan is I guess you would call it an action drama. It was directed by David Yates and stars Alexander Skarsgård, Margot Robbie and Samuel L. Jackson. The story is set in the late 1800s and revolves around the King of Belgium having made a deal with a tribal chief in the Congo. In exchange for letting the Belgians go in and mine all the mineral deposits, they will give the chief Tarzan, who he's got a bit of a bone to pick because of something that happened with Tarzan and his son a while back. So as we've seen in the trailer, Tarzan gets involved in this plot and winds up back in the Congo with his wife Jane, who gets captured by the bad guys, and so Tarzan's got to go after her and save the day and swing through the trees on vines, and there's monkeys and gorillas and elephants and all sorts of cool animals, and there you go. So one of the criticisms that I keep seeing recurring about this movie is that it's not a lot of fun. People keep comparing it to the Disney animated flick, but look, I've got to be honest with you, and please don't judge me, but I haven't actually seen the Disney version of Tarzan. I know, how can I call myself a film buff when I haven't seen Tarzan? The last version of Tarzan I ever saw was 1984's Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes, which was a pretty heavy dramatic affair. So going into this one, I was kind of expecting, that kind of a movie. And that's pretty much exactly what I got. The movie, it really, as you noticed in the start, I called it an action drama because it was very heavy on the drama and, well, no real adventure as such at all. Now, as far as the positives for the movie go, look, I wasn't bored in it, okay? It wasn't bad. It was one of these movies that, as it was going along, I was paying attention to the story and all that sort of stuff, and my mind wasn't exactly drifting elsewhere, but at the same time, there just was no real spirit to the story, and I think a lot of that came down to the writing. Like, the characters, I liked them, but I didn't love them, and therefore, when Jane gets captured by the bad guys, that sort of thing, there was no real sort of sense of, oh my god, I really want Tarzan to go and rescue her. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, Tarzan will probably rescue her and that'll be it. Cool. Everything about the movie was okay. The cinematography was pretty good, the acting was good. Samuel L. Jackson, let's face it, anything he's in, he's going to be good.
How pleasant of you to join us. This party's over.
What I meant was almost anything Samuel L. Jackson in, he's going to be good. And Christoph Waltz, who played the bad guy, again, he was just good. I guess everybody was kind of just underused. I did like Alexander Skarsgård as Tarzan for one main reason. His eyes just kind of had like a simian sort of a quality to them, I guess. And I thought that was a good bit of casting. Having said that, he still had a Swedish accent, which I thought was a little bit weird. But the impression I got from the movie was that they had good intentions. Like, I didn't watch it and sort of think to myself, oh wow, they just gave up trying or anything like that. You could tell that they actually tried to make a good movie, and so it was okay. On to the things I didn't like about it. Well, I guess one of the things I didn't like about it was that it was just okay. Like I said, there was no sense of adventure. The CG, now I'm blaming Jungle Book for this because after seeing that and how perfect the animals were in that, there's just no excuse anymore for making half-hearted CG animals. And in this one, there was a lot of fakery around them. As I mentioned before, I didn't really care enough about the characters, which you kind of need to do in a movie. A few other things, the dialogue sometimes seemed a little out of place. Like, they tried to give Samuel L. Jackson some jokes, but like, there was one joke about licking a gorilla's nuts, and it kind of seemed a little out of place, especially for sort of late 1800s. It seemed, I don't know, a little bit too contemporary as far as the humor went. Another thing I wasn't a big fan of was the fact that Tarzan's backstory was told in flashbacks. Now, ordinarily I don't mind flashback sequences if they're done right, but in this case I kind of felt it broke up the pace of the movie a little bit too much. It was essential that we saw things, like when Tarzan was a kid being taken by the gorillas. But you get my drift. It just sort of broke the story up a little bit too much. One thing I did like about Tarzan, though, was that it was a character I could relate to. Remember that shot in the trailer where he's snuggling up to the lion? Well, This was me when I got home from the movie. There's my cat waiting for me at the door. She just couldn't wait to see me. Aww. So overall, look, it's definitely not the sort of movie I would ever really want to see again. I wouldn't add it to my collection. It's probably kind of forgettable, to be perfectly honest with you. But again, they did have good intentions. I appreciated what they did. So it's a very middle ground sort of movie. I'm going to give The Legend of Tarzan a 5 out of 10. So guys, if you've seen Tarzan, let me know what you thought of it. If you like the movie, I'd definitely love to know why. I'd like to hear some responses from people who actually did like it. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love you to click that button down below so you can keep up to date with all of my reviews and stuff. And drop me some comments either here or on Facebook, because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. See you next time.
Hey you there. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Click subscribe. You see the big word up the top that says subscribe? Well, click on it! Click on it now! Do it! Yeah!